Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, a former central figure in the 2004 Carly Brucia murder case has some strong opinions about the new state law that will retry some death row inmates. Former Sarasota County Sheriff Bill Balkwell is not happy about the possibility of convicted killer Joseph Smith getting a new sentencing hearing. ABC 7's Ray Collins talked with Balkwell this morning and joins us with more on the story. Ray?
Yes, Scott, the former sheriff calls it a waste of money, not fair to the victim, her family, the community, and also investigators. Sheriff Balkwell says the Carly Brucia murder case was one of the biggest of his career. It's the story of a man who kidnapped an 11-year-old girl behind a car wash on Bee Ridge Road and then left her body behind a church on Proctor Road. By a 10-2 vote, the jury sentenced Smith to death. But now, with the new guidelines, the state will have to redo it. And if the sentence is unanimous, Smith then gets life in prison. He comes off death row. The former sheriff says he's disappointed.
How can you go back and redo something that was done, 12 years ago or how long ago it was, and it just doesn't seem right. I don't have a problem with it going forward if that's the way the law is going to be, but to have to go all the way back, that I think is wrong.
Now, the state changed its guidelines earlier this year that require a unanimous jury vote for a death sentence. This hearing could happen as early as next year. Scott?
All right, Ray, thank you so much. New at noon today, a Sarasota man is facing multiple charges after an apparent road rage incident. Troopers say it happened yesterday afternoon on I-75 at State Road 681. They say a man waved a gun at another driver. Troopers were called and eventually tracked down 26-year-old Christopher Banich at the intersection of US 41 and Roberts Road, where he was arrested.
During the stop, we were able to recover not only the firearm, but several drugs and paraphernalia within that vehicle.
Banach is charged with aggravated assault, displaying a firearm during the commission of a felony, and drug charges. Time now to get a check on our weather with meteorologist John Scalzi. He joins us now on a day that the showers were kind of offshore, John. I could hear that lightning about 7 a.m. or so.
Just made it, didn't I?
I had to call you over.
We're adjusting some of the graphics here to show the line of showers beginning to move into inland areas right now. Yeah, some of the storms have produced a lot of lightning out there in Gulf waters. Now we're beginning to see more of an inland focus for these showers. That's going to be the case throughout the remainder of the afternoon. These showers and thunderstorms will gradually drift inland, producing some fairly heavy rainfall. They're going to be slow-moving storms. So if you're going to be under one of those storms, you're going to get a lot of rainfall around. You can see the mix of sun and clouds that we are going to have for the remainder of the afternoon near the coast. I think a little bit more sunshine than inland residents, who will probably see a lot better rain chance. We'll put the rain chance at about 50% through the next hour or two along the coastline, but more so inland at about 60%. And then as we head into the very later part of the evening hours into the early nighttime hours, there's a possibility of an isolated shower near the coast as we get some of the storms inland throwing out outflow boundaries that could kick off a storm or two closer to Gulf waters. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. Allegations of child neglect at a West Bradenton daycare has shut down the provider as the Manatee County Sheriff's Office now investigates. ABC 7's Jacqueline Matter joins us with more details. Jacqueline.
Good afternoon, Scott. Last week, the Sheriff's Office received information about possible child neglect at the No Limits Learning Academy off 75th Street West in Bradenton. The allegations involve Director Joanne Erickson, who is a pastor with her husband at the adjacent Church Without Limits. It also includes 2 additional employees and a child related to Erickson. Now, I attempted to speak to a daycare worker who showed up today, but she refused to comment when I arrived. However, a no contact order was issued against Erickson, and the daycare is required to be shut down for up to 90 days. Dave Bristow with the Sheriff's Office says they've conducted numerous interviews, but no charges have been filed yet.
There are a lot of allegations here, and we don't really want to go into any specifics. There was one child that was mentioned, and it kind of spread to possibly other children. So, it's just right now very, very delicate part of the investigation.
The Florida Department of Children and Families is also conducting their own investigation into those allegations. They did send us a statement saying, in part, they will determine the next steps of licensing for the facility and will take any action necessary to ensure the safety of all children at the daycare. Back to you, Scott.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you. 4 robbers got more than they bargained for after trying to hold up a Pizza Hut restaurant in Sarasota. The armed robbery happened Tuesday night at the Pizza Hut on 17th Street in Sarasota just after 11:30 p.m. Sheriff's deputies say the robbers charged into the restaurant, beating one of the employees and demanding money. One of them was holding a gun. That's when one of the other restaurant's employees pulled out a gun of his own and fired at the men, hitting one of them before they all ran off. Deputies found the man who had been shot a short time later at the hospital receiving treatment. All 4 men are now charged with armed robbery. The search continues for the man who robbed the Bradenton shoe store last week. The Sheriff's Office releasing this surveillance video of the robbery. It happened at the Payless shoe store on Cortez Road. Other business owners in that area are concerned something like this could happen in the middle of the day.
Obviously, you know, when I'm looking after my employees as well, I was concerned for their safety because, I mean, it was just a couple stores down. So, I mean, we just want to make sure everyone just locks their doors in the morning if you're not open yet. Just use extra precautions. Never walk out alone.
If you recognize the robber, call the Manatee County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers. And a developing story out of Northport. Police are set up outside of a home on Needle Terrace. Police say a domestic disturbance turned violent between a father, mother, and son last night. The father was injured and was taken to the hospital for treatment. Police say the son remains inside that home and refuses to come out. We'll have much more on this story as information becomes available. Talks continue about Longboat Key becoming part of just one county instead of 2. Right now, the 10-mile-long barrier island is split, with half in Sarasota County, the rest in Manatee County. That means Longboat Key has 2 tax collectors, 2 court systems, 2 property appraisers, 2 election supervisors, and 2 very different property tax rates. Those who live on the Manatee County side of the Key pay about $2.5 million more a year in property taxes than those on the Sarasota County side.
It is a little bit of an administrative burden. We've become accustomed to it because it's been that way forever, so our systems do accommodate it. But the most important element is, what are our citizens experience? And there's no question they're experiencing different taxes depending on where you live for the same services.
Town officials say they will eventually have to talk about this 2-county issue with the Florida State Legislature because the state has the final say in all of this. Town officials say this can take years before anything happens. Happening right now, a Sarasota business group is hosting a Pinellas County state senator who's considering a run for governor. The Argus Foundation hosting its annual Meet the Minds luncheon at the Sarasota Yacht Club, and the keynote speaker is Jack Latvala. He's serving his 4th term in the state Senate. He's received nearly 200 honors and awards for his legislative service, including being named Legislator of the Year. Time now to head over to the kitchen where Chef Joe DiMaggio joins us today from Cafe Barboso in Sarasota. Joe, great to have you back in the kitchen today.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. What's on the menu for today?
We're doing steak au poivre with filet mignon, a little bit of cognac, creme fraiche. It's insane. You know it is.
It sounds delicious. We'll be back with you in a little bit, Joe. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Ray Collins. It's that time of year, Friday Fest at the Van Wezel.
We hope you can join Ray and I tomorrow afternoon as we co-host the outdoor concert on the Bayfront. More details tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
We'll watch the weekend weather kind of transition, perhaps a few less showers around. We'll talk about that bright and early.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251. 800-628-1251.
Get the hottest deals of the year during the summer clearance event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of Ram trucks. Get maximum cargo space and more comfort with a new Ram Quad Cab for as low as $24,999. Or spread out in your spacious new Ram Crew Cab and save up to $10,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
The official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Download yours today. Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
We have across the region temperatures that are generally coming in around 83 degrees, dew point of about 75. East wind blows at about 7. Light enough that a sea breeze is starting to form, and as we progress into the afternoon, we'll develop a westerly wind that'll push showers and thunderstorms into inland areas. Temperatures across the region generally upper 80s as you look at inland temperatures, and closer to the coast just a little bit cooler with 84 degrees Longboat Key, 84 in Venice, 82 in Inglewood. Take a look at the water vapor imagery here. Good tool for showing you swirls and motions in the atmosphere. If you look at where the dry air is here, indicated by this tan contour, and then the really moist air indicated by these turquoise colors, you can see there's kind of a downward push. Well, this is at mid and upper levels, and if you looked at a map of, say, up at 10,000, 12,000 feet in the air, you'd notice kind of a north wind that has developed. That's drawn down some drier air. Not really reached our area. We're still in the soup around here, but it has limited the number of storms that we're seeing in parts of North Florida today. And it has given the direction of motion of some of the storms more of a north to south motion as of this morning. Now, currently, we're seeing more of an easterly flow. High pressure, the dominant weather feature for us across the region, has provided a fairly light and very variable flow at the surface, and that is allowing our sea breeze to kick in today. That sea breeze pushing showers and thunderstorms toward the other coast, where they will encounter, butt up against, the other sea breeze, the East Coast sea breeze. We have one on each coast. And as they meet in the center, that's where we start to see the biggest storms build. Now, as our sea breeze collapses with the death of the day, we'll start to see those showers push back toward our coastline. And so we have an outside chance that around sunset this evening, an isolated storm could pop up closer to the coast. Early coastal showers, which we saw earlier this morning, and seeing a few right now. And then afternoon, especially in about an hour or two, mostly inland storms. And that pattern is going to stay with us for several more days. Now, perhaps down the road, a day or two, we might see some changes come into the forecast. You can see the kind of lack of showers that's occurring to the north of us, and the more shower activity the further south you go. Along our region, a lot of showery activity beginning in inland areas, with even a thunderstorm or two popping up. The heaviest of the rain now moving toward DeWitt and toward areas around Bethany, moving away from Fox Lee. That storm drawing off to the east at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So slow motion, but at least some movement. This morning, the storms were basically building and dying in the same location. So we have a little bit of motion here, but still slow movers producing a lot of rainfall if you happen to be under them. Below that, mostly just dots of rainfall here and there. I think we'll see a more solid line develop with time as those showers move inland, and some of the storms along the spine of the state, as I mentioned, could be stronger. A couple of the storms may build back toward the coast later in the day, as I mentioned, around the sunset time. And then tomorrow, I think we'll probably do it all over again. So the forecast looks like this. Over the next several days, we'll watch rainfall building into inland areas. Dry, humid air, which is over the state of Florida, will be replaced by the more by the drier air that's to our south and to our north, and that will provide us with perhaps a reduction in the number of showers that we get as we head into next week. A little bit of cloud cover across the area will not stop the solar heating of the day, and our temperatures will probably be pretty close to the 90 mark once again. A couple of areas of disturbed weather out in the tropics, but none of them really producing much in the way of any kind of rainfall across the area that has any organization to it whatsoever. So we're not concerned about any kind of tropical development at this time. Those storms are just not talking to each other. Southwest wind at about 5 knots this afternoon and evening. Make for nice boating conditions. We'll look for smooth conditions on your bay and inland waters with about 2-foot seas. Water temperature now at 88 bath-like degrees. High tide came at 9:49. We won't have a low tide until this evening at about 6:29 with another high tide at 1 o'clock in the morning. Forecast for the rest of the week calls for a 50% chance of showers starting first along the coast in the morning and then shifting inland in the afternoon, as we have seen for the last several days and are seeing currently. And then over the weekend, perhaps a slight reduction in the number of storms. Back to you.
All right, John, thank you. 2 new studies have some very good news for coffee drinkers. Greater consumption of coffee might lead to a longer life. Kim Hutcherson has more.
If you're a coffee connoisseur or a Java junkie, get ready to get happy. A couple of new studies have linked drinking more coffee to a longer life. One study, the largest study to date on coffee and mortality, surveyed more than 520,000 people in 10 European countries. It found that those who drink 3 or more cups of coffee a day have a significantly lower risk of mortality. The data also indicated an inverse association between coffee consumption and liver disease, suicide in men, cancer in women, digestive diseases, and circulatory diseases. The second study focused more on non-white populations. Researchers surveyed more than 185,000 African Americans, Native Americans, Hawaiians, Japanese Americans, Latinos, and whites. They found that coffee appears linked to longevity across various races. That study found that people who drank 2 to 4 cups of coffee a day had an 18% lower risk of death compared with people who did not drink coffee. Both studies were published in the Annals of Internal Medicine. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Still ahead, O.J. Simpson back in a Nevada courtroom today asking for an early release from prison. We'll have the latest coming up.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. back. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction Hope and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
The Shriners Hospitals for Children help thousands of children across the country and beyond, regardless of their family's ability to pay. And here on the Suncoast, Shriners are collecting toys, games, and other items to keep kids occupied during their hospital stays. It's called Christmas in July, and here to tell us more is Lady Jenny Crawford, past Grand High Priestess of the Grand Council of LOSNA. Jenny, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, before we talk about the event, let's learn more about the Shriners Hospitals for Children and the care they provide. They specialize in several specific treatments. Can you tell us more?
Yes, there are 22 Shriners Hospitals in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And most of them deal with orthopedic, helping the kids with any kind of neuromuscular disease, providing braces, wheelchairs if needed. But they also have the burns units, and those deal with these kids that unfortunately have been burned and do everything they can to put them back into the real world. We also deal with cleft palate and spinal cord injury, any knees, scoliosis, metabolic bone disease, that's the Montreal unit. So we do so much for these kids throughout the year. In the history of the Shrine Hospitals, we've treated over a million children.
So the closest hospital to us is just north of us in Tampa. If someone's watching this right now, what is the process for a family to potentially receive care from a Shriners Hospital?
All they need to do is either contact a Shriner, if they know one. They can contact Sahib Shrine here in Sarasota, or call one of the hospitals. There is an 800 number for Shriners. It's 1-800-237-5055. And that will get them in contact and they can start the process.
Now, Christmas in July happens next Tuesday. What kind of items are you hoping will be donated for the children at Shriners Hospitals? And this is children of all ages, right?
Right. Any child from age 0 basically to 18 is treated in our hospitals. So we need everything that covers those age groups, from infants to young children to teens. So anything that would fall into that would be, anything from coloring books, crayons, DVDs, videos, music, games, even clothing. Anything that a child is given when they take their time in a hospital, they do get to go home with. So, they're well taken care of during that time frame.
And let me mention quickly, you're not looking for used items, things that have been used, things with rubber and latex, toys that promote violence, or VHS tapes, which really aren't used anymore.
Right.
Here's the information on the event. Again, it happens next Tuesday. It's called Christmas in July. Tuesday, July 25th, 9 a.m. until noon at the Sahib Shrine. That's on North Beneva Road, 600 North Beneva Road in Sarasota. You can't miss it. It's on the right there if you're heading north. And Jenny, thank you so much. We wish you the best of luck with this project. And thank you all for that you do that for those children in those Shriners Hospitals. We sure appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay. John is standing by in the kitchen with the owner of Cafe Barboso, Joe DiMaggio, and they're always cooking up something good there. John?
If I don't get a weekly shot of Joe DiMaggio in the Barboso, I'm not right. Something's wrong. It's just not right. So it's good to have you here, sir. Always good to have my buddy Joe in the kitchen, because I tell you what, you're going to be eating right. Yeah. You know it.
Yeah.
What are you cooking up for us today?
Today we're making a ridiculous steak au poivre with filet mignon.
It's crazy.
It's stupid.
It really is crazy. It's good stuff.
I don't want to burn this, but what we're going to do is, you want to take filet mignon. You could use a New York strip steak. You could use filet mignon. You could use, a ribeye, boneless ribeye. I suggest a boneless one. But we're going to use filet today. This is a sustainable product, hormone, antibiotic-free. We just buy from a really cool farm. And
You do a lot of locally sourced stuff.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
you only really highest ingredients. I mean,
Yes, we only use
highest
high-
quality ingredients. It's good
So what we're going to do is, in our pan, we have a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, but we're going to add some butter, right, to this, to make that little creamy love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the filet, you want to generously coat it with salt and pepper, right? Not too much of the salt, but a good amount of pepper. And we'll get it on here. Get this butter a little, see how the butter doesn't burn?
Mm-hmm.
I created that.
Created what?
No, I'm teasing.
that physical effect?
Yeah.
Thermodynamic effect. Yeah, you do everything in the kitchen, don't you? You even control the physics.
Absolutely. So what we do with the fillets, you want it at room temperature. You don't want it too cold, right? Get a little bit more salt on here, a little bit of pepper. And you want to build a nice crust on the fish. You want to go like a couple minutes on one side, 3 minutes on another. You can put it in the oven for about 5 minutes to get like medium rare, rare. So, just for TV purposes, we're showing you this, right?
I wish we had half hour on TV because
I know.
You learn so much from watching this guy cook. You really do.
So basically, we have green peppercorns, right? A little bit of shallots and cognac, right? A little bit of creme fraiche, a little bit of veal demi-glace, right? So let's just turn this over. I mean, you want a nice little crust on it, right? So, and then once you start cooking it, what you want to do is once the filet reaches that crusty love, take it out and let it rest for a few minutes and make your sauce in the pan.
We might have to do that now because we just,
You
how
just wanna
time
read
is
this-
on TV.
Yeah.
We're going to pretend that. Normally, how long would it take to really cook this the way you'd want to cook it in
10
a
minutes.
restaurant?
That's
10 minutes.
it.
Okay.
So put it back on, right? And get a little bit more butter in there, right? A little bit of our shallots.
Got about 45 seconds.
Okay, a little bit of shallots. And then get a bit of cognac in there.
Yeah, man.
And then through my Jedi training.
Okay. Whoa!
Right? You get that
I
lit.
love that.
Right.
What does that do? Why do people flambe like that?
Because
What's the-
you don't want a powerful alcohol flavor. You just want the residual sugars from it.
The flavor, not the bite.
Right.
Okay.
So you got that in there, the demi-glaze. We add a little bit of creme fraiche, our
good stuff.
drained green peppercorns, right? A little more black pepper, and then this is the dish.
Check it out. I have had a bite of this, and I'll tell you, it's just amazing.
Have another one.
Yeah, I don't mind if I do, actually, Joe. Is this on the menu at the restaurant?
No.
No?
No.
Really?
It's a special.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to bite into this later because they're going to take a picture of it. So.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, we want to make sure that you'll be able to see this on the website
Yes, it's
before I
insane,
tear
folks.
into it because there won't be anything less to show.
Make a reservation. You know the deal.
I tell you what, busy even in the summer
Yes.
at Barbosa. Over there on Clark Road in Honore, fabulous
Yes.
place. Recipe on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining link page. Joe's individual instructions will be there as well as the recipe itself. Joe, can't thank you enough. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, brother.
See you this weekend.
Okay.
Be right back.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
As a singer-songwriter, it's all about creating high-performance art that moves people. Same is true in making gorgeous cars. Fiat designs it. You're the artist.
Choose your palette just about any color combo inside out.
No small wonder, state-of-the-art style Fiat.
Now this moves me.
Oh, they're playing my song. Let the art of Fiat move you at Fiat of Sarasota.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. O.J. Simpson may learn his fate today. Will he remain in prison or be freed? There's a lot of speculation that Simpson could be released soon. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is at the parole hearing in Nevada with the latest.
O.J. Simpson again fighting for his freedom after serving 9 of his 33-year sentence behind bars here in Lovelock, Nevada. The parole board set to decide today whether the NFL Hall of Famer and former actor will go free.
I thought I was confronting friends and retrieving my property. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of it.
One of the men he's convicted of robbing in this Las Vegas casino in 2007 in what Simpson described as an attempt to get back his personal memorabilia, expected to testify on Simpson's behalf today. Telling the parole board made up of 6 people, Simpson has served his time. The board taking that into consideration, along with the 70-year-old's age and perfect prison record.
I mean, he's still an inmate, but he definitely wasn't a problem child like some of the other ones were.
The board also weighing the potential risk he could pose to society. They're supposed to ignore the 1994 murder of Simpson's ex-wife Nicole Brown and her friend Ron Goldman, for which Simpson was infamously acquitted.
Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder.
Simpson was later found liable for the deaths in a civil suit. Goldman's family saying this today in their exclusive interview on Good Morning America.
I think his whole history of violence, ignoring the law, no respect for the law, no remorse for virtually anything he's ever done is an indication of who he is as a person. I don't think there's any reason to think that he's going to be a decent human being into society.
It'll take a majority vote for parole to be granted. If that happens, the soonest we could see Simpson walk free out of this prison would be October 1st. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Lovelock, Nevada.
And I want to mention ABC News will have a special report sometime around 1 p.m. this afternoon with more on that hearing in Nevada. Time now to talk about our weather. Meteorologist John Scalzi back from some delicious food in the kitchen, huh?
Man, I just tell you, I love that food. I love that food.
I had to pull them away.
Yeah, you really did. It's good stuff. We are looking today at some very pleasant weather, I think, along the coastline. You know, we had some showers earlier on. That's a good thing. We can still use the rainfall. Even though the drought indexes are good, still could use the rainfall.
Yeah.
And now some of the shower activity building in inland areas, producing frequent lightning strikes inland. I think we'll continue to see some heavier rain falling in those locations. we do have some showers that continue kind of erratic motion for some of these showers. In our neck of the woods, I think they'll generally be east to west motion. But in Pinellas County, we have a couple of storms that are sinking south. We have a light wind flow across the region, and sometimes light wind flows produce erratic storm motion because the outflow from the storms influence the direction of motion of some of these storms. So, you know, it wouldn't be a bit surprised to see some of those inland moving storms kind of build back toward the coastline very late in the day today. We'll go with about a 50% chance of rainfall through about 2 p.m. near the coast as that sea breeze starts to develop and we start to get a few showers around. I think most of the coastal rains will be south into areas of Charlotte County. And then as we head into the evening hours, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, we'll put in a slight chance of a rain shower that builds back toward the coast. All in all, rain chances stay similar tomorrow, then maybe some changes. We'll talk about that in just a second. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. A Florida man is carrying a cross more than 2,000 miles to raise awareness about addiction. Jim Downs left from Panama City back in February and has made it to Virginia. Downs says he suffered with addiction for years and does not want to see anyone else go through what he did.
A lot of people don't understand addiction. They don't understand that it isn't as easy as saying, just put it down. It doesn't happen like that. And my encouragement is knowing that this is making a difference.
Downs hopes to finish his walk by October when he crosses the border into Canada. An update now on the sinkhole that swallowed up 2 homes in Pasco County last week. That hole remains very dangerous. It's slowly getting a little bit wider as its banks fall in because there's no support for the sandy soil drying out. It's now about 235 feet wide, nearly 10 feet wider than it was several days ago, but it does remain 50 feet deep. The hole opened up last Friday. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Florida officials now have more time to defend a 2-year law requiring women to wait 24 hours before getting an abortion. More than 5 months after the Florida Supreme Court put the law on hold for the second time, a circuit judge has given those in support of the law 60 days to present evidence in favor of reinstating it. Governor Rick Scott signed the waiting period law into law in 2015. It was quickly blocked by a lower court after the ACLU sued.
Women already think long and hard about this decision. Women in Florida are capable decision makers who do not need politicians micromanaging their schedules or imposing a mandatory timeout before they're allowed to make decisions about themselves.
All other invasive medical procedures have a built-in reflection period as common practice. Abortion, however, has bypassed the true intent of informed consent and has capitalized on women's vulnerability when confronting unplanned pregnancies.
Say the law would create a burden on many women, especially those living in rural communities. The Environmental Protection Agency is considering a dozen proposed water and sewer projects, and one is in Florida. The EPA is inviting 12 projects in 9 states to apply for loans from the Water Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act. One initiative is meant to reduce the environmental impact of wastewater discharged into the ocean near Miami. Governor Scott is cautioning university presidents over how they spend money. Scott sent letters to the presidents of 12 state universities regarding $120 million that was set aside for schools to revamp the state's higher education system. The governor says the money should be spent on initiatives that will help students avoid debt and help them get a job once they graduate. Solar panel installations may soon become a requirement for some South Florida homes. South Miami's mayor says the requirement made for a Miami suburb will reduce the cost of home ownership, make houses sell faster, create jobs, and reduce carbon emissions. The new rule will require 175 square feet of solar panels per 1,000 square feet of roof. It's modeled after similar ordinances passed in California cities. The measure will take effect in Miami in September. Let's get over to John with a special interview.
Scott, thanks very much. The Florida Studio Theater Oslo Conservatory for Actor Training has had international standing for decades. We know that. Its graduates are seen here on our Oslo stage and other theaters all across the nation, as well as in film and in television. Well, now they've created a new summer theater right here so that we get our theater fix all year long. And joining us now is the Director of Conservatory Actor Training, Greg Lemming. Thanks for coming in today, sir.
Great to be here.
It's been a long time since we've had you in the studio. Welcome back. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
So tell us about this new venture. What's the deal?
Well, you know,
Sarasota really is becoming a year-round community. There was a hole in the season in the middle of the summer, and we own the Cook Theater. We train some of the best actors in the country. We have a huge list of alum who are dying to come back, and we have a long list of relationships with professionals around the country. And we thought it would be really exciting we have the opportunity to put together a theater program, a new professional theater, hiring professional artists from around the country, supported by graduates of the program and students who are still in the program, so that we can produce the kind of work that appeals to a summer audience.
So the plays that you produce during the summer are not necessarily just the conservatory students.
Oh, not at all, not at all.
So
no.
It encompasses much more than that.
Exactly. The students in the conservatory have to audition for the roles the way any actor would around the country.
Good deal.
Which is great. It's a great opportunity for them.
Interesting name for a theater, though. Tell us about the name you've chosen.
Dog Days of Summer.
That's pretty interesting. Dog Day Theater,
We like to say it's about the dog because we're there to support the Dog Days of Summer, but actually it's because we're all dog lovers.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I join you in that. Now, I guess this is your first production, right?
Yes,
of the
relatively speaking.
Mm-hmm. And that's on until the 20th of this month.
July 30th.
July 30th,
yeah,
sorry.
It's fantastic. It's a wonderful production with these two wonderful professional actors who came in to work with us, two graduates of our program, and it's gorgeous. I'm thrilled by it. People are having a great time. It's one of the great comedies.
And this is by Alan
Ayckbourn.
Who is, of course, huge in the British theater and also in American theater.
Absolutely.
He's done a number of wonderful plays.
80 of them.
80, it's amazing. It hasn't really been that many.
This is his
incredible.
first big success.
Yeah.
Wonderful play.
Oh, it's great to see it on our stage.
Absolutely.
It's been a while, I guess. Yeah. And the next play coming up is
an adaptation of James Cain's Double Indemnity.
Yes.
Which is wild because, you know, the movie really cut out 90% of the book and just focused on this interesting love story with Barbara Stanwyck and Fred McMurray. The book is completely different, very complex, and this is a stage adaptation of the book, trying to create the noir quality that we associate with film noir. James Cain was the man who actually created the noir idea, the style of noir.
And to your knowledge, has this show ever been done in Sarasota?
It's not been, no, not at all. No. It's been done a couple of times in a couple of theaters around the country, but never down here.
The terrific opportunity for all of us theater lovers to enjoy theater straight through the summer. Yeah. Thanks for coming in today, Greg.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. We'd love to have a couple of your actors come on in during the summer and talk about some of the productions.
Anytime, that'd be great.
We'll be right back.
Fresh out of the box, the Alfa Romeo won us over. We went in skeptical and left in awe of this gorgeous machine. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
I'm Cindy Lou. I'm Susie. I'm Missy. And I'm Betty Jean. And we're the Marvelous Wonderettes. Mr. Sandman.
Experience the best girl group songs from the 50s and 60s live on stage at the Players Center July 12th through the 23rd. Call 941-365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You'll fall in love with the Marvelous Wonderettes.
I'm so alone.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
It does things that seem impossible. Feeling like it could change direction while airborne. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Looking at temperatures outside that are warming up nicely. 83 degrees the air temperature, dew point is at 75. We've had a little cloud cover around. And so like yesterday, the cloud cover's kind of delayed the development of our sea breeze because it's held temperatures down just a little. Without the cloud cover, we would probably be at 88 degrees by now. But we have the cloud cover, and so consequently, our sea breeze probably starting in the next hour or two. East wind coming in at about 7 right now, fairly light. Across the state, temperatures are very warm everywhere you go. Jacksonville coming in at 90, Daytona at 87, Orlando at 84, Fort Myers 87, Tallahassee at 92 degrees, and Pensacola at 94, where they've seen a little bit more sunshine there. 85 Myakka, 86 in Northport, 83 in Sarasota. One of the reasons that the temperatures are a little bit warmer to the north is we've had a little trough of low pressure build in from the north, and that has drawn down some drier air. That's indicated here by these kind of tan colorizations in the water vapor imagery. That's aloft. That's sunnier skies is basically what that is. So areas from Jacksonville, especially toward Tallahassee and the Panhandle, have seen a lot more sunshine today. Now, that drier air is kind of put on the brakes before it reaches us, so we're not seeing a lot of that. But maybe as we head into the weekend, some drier air located back out in the Atlantic, advancing in this direction, and that drier air sinking south that I just showed you will kind of pinch off the supply of moisture that exists all the way down into the central Gulf waters. And so maybe the number of rain showers that we get over the weekend reduced just a little bit. High pressure, the dominant feature through the deep south into the Gulf waters. Little trough of low pressure located along the eastern seaboard through the mid-Atlantic. Showers and thunderstorms have been more intense today than they were yesterday out in the Atlantic and along our coastal Gulf waters. Now we're seeing some of those storms begin to build in inland areas as we start to develop a little daytime heating and our surface begins to warm. That is the first step in the development of this sea breeze circulation that drives our summer weather. And then as we see that sea breeze begin to build, the storms begin to move toward the east. We'll watch them kind of explode along the spine of the state as the east coast sea breeze butts up against that. Then as the heating of the day dies down and that sea breeze begins to kind of decline, we'll see a few of those storms perhaps have the opportunity to build back toward our coastline late in the day. So early coastal storms, afternoon storms inland, that pattern goes right into the weekend. Forecast calls for daytime highs near 90 with about a 50% chance of storms for the next couple of days, and perhaps a few less storms as we head into the weekend. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Whether you believe them or not, we've all heard about psychic forces. But is there a way we can tap into them and learn about our futures? ABC 7's Linda Carson has more on Sarasota's Mystic Fair. It's in the spotlight.
Psychic medium Candace Strafford says the moment you walk into the Mystic Fair, you feel a wonderful energy.
And you will also see psychics lined up around both sides of the room, willing to give readings on life issues such as health, relationships, family, any finance, anything that you might have questions with in your life can be answered.
And she says there are mediums to bring you messages from the other side.
Messages from loved ones that have crossed over. They can connect and bring great healing with some of the messages, and very clear, succinct messages too.
There'll be more than 30 psychics along with a long list of free lectures and around 70 vendors.
Some of the vendors will sell crystals, and specifically healing crystals. We have a vendor selling crystal bowls and healing tools. We have some alternative health practitioners. We have a chiropractor here, an acupuncturist here. We have some Reiki energy.
Terry Crum is one of the vendors.
I'll be selling my photography as well as books with the photography that have inspirational messages.
Here's a sample.
Slow down, be quiet, ponder, listen, meditate, observe, feel, sit on the earth, feel.
Zahid Hossein is an astropalmist. He does a combination of astrology and palmistry.
What I do is I take a look at the palms of your client's hands, and I also do the astrology chart. And I compare what the planets in the hands say to what the planets in the chart say.
He says his readings are scientific and accurate.
The hands show a complete lifetime a map of your entire life, and the lines on your hand change depending upon what the decisions are that the individual makes.
He also offers guidance.
If one has any questions at all, we have psychic readers, we have people who can speak to people beyond this lifetime. You can get answers to practically anything that you want.
The Mystic Fair at the Sarasota Municipal Auditorium, Saturday and Sunday, both days starting at 11 o'clock. And they tell me everybody always leaves feeling better than when they came. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Linda, thank you so much. Entertainment news is next. Stay with us.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is the best overall brand for 2 years running and the most trusted brand for 3 years running, according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Right now, you can lease one of Subaru's most versatile vehicles, the Subaru Crosstrek, for as little as $189 a month, or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
In entertainment news, 3 new trailers promoting 3 very different movies are making the rounds. That includes what's being called the dullest movie ever made. Rick Damigella has more in today's Hollywood Minute.
It's trailer season in Hollywood. Here's a first look at Only the Brave, based on the true story of the Granite Mountain hotshots who died fighting an Arizona wildfire 4 years ago. The film stars Jeff Bridges, Josh Brolin, and Miles Teller, and is directed by Tron Legacy helmer Joseph Kosinski. Only the Brave lands in theaters October 20th.
You may think that thing looks human.
stands on two legs, right?
The latest film from director Guillermo del Toro is The Shape of Water. Described as an otherworldly fairy tale, the movie follows a mute woman who works in a Cold War-era government lab where she meets and befriends an aquatic life form. The Shape of Water surfaces December 8th.
In a world of constant stress and information overload.
Yes, really. This is a trailer for an 8-hour-long movie with no plot, dialogue, or actors. Baba Land is an actual movie with plans for a red carpet premiere and release in theaters. The movie was produced by meditation website Calm.com and has been described by its producer Peter Friedman as, quote, the dullest movie ever made. Baba Land will premiere in September. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Ryan Seacrest is returning as the host for American Idol. Kelly Ripa announcing the news this morning on Live with Kelly and Ryan. Seacrest hosted American Idol for its entire 15-season run on Fox before ending last year. The show will be returning for its first season here on ABC next year. According to E! News, it will likely air on Sunday nights. It is one hot summer, but these chimps at the Kansas City Zoo know how to cool off with popsicles. The rising temperatures, zoo's staff have been looking for ways to keep the animals cool and comfortable, and one way they've been doing that is by giving them water bottles and popsicles to beat the summer heat, just like people do. And the chimps apparently are loving it, even the baby chimps, too. Who doesn't love a popsicle? History being uncovered in Los Angeles. Crews found fossils of mammoths, mastodons, and bison while expanding a subway line there. Some of these fossils are at least 10,000 years old. Last year, crews found a tusk from an adult mammoth and the teeth of a mastodon. Other bones found earlier this year come from a camel and a sloth. The fossils are expected to be taken to the Natural History Museum to be further studied. Really glad that they're, not just plowing through it. They see it, they stop, and then they...
Well, we were talking about this on the morning show, and I was saying, props to the workers for doing that. You know what? They have teams of archaeologists now assigned to each of those construction crews to monitor it.
That's good.
Yeah.
A lot of history down there.
Yeah.
We'll see you again at 5 o'clock. Have a great day, everyone.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.